This is NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runner's Alley, coming at you from the D2, D3 JV State Championships at Cole Brown Northwood Academy. This year's Meet Hub is brought to you by Bees Tees. We're about to kick things off in this girls JV race. Usually comes down to the best varsity teams in D2 and D3, as well as the teams that are a little bit bigger. Gun is up, and these girls are off. 2021 JV D2 D3 State Championship.
Looks like Lebanon up front, Oyster River 2, Souhegan, bit of Kennett.
And we can see our leaders coming around now.
It's Emma Herrero in front for Souhegan, and then
there's a Lebanon runner, as well as Oyster River. These three kind of working together right now. They've got some separation.
So it's also Elizabeth Korbatsky and then Charlotte Berglund.
Souhegan's number 2, Souhegan's number 3, Oyster River 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, we were talking about some of the bigger programs. Also, if the varsity is having success or there is a bigger program, usually those teams are pretty successful. So we're looking for Souhegan, which we saw, Oyster River, which we saw, Hopkinton. I expect them to move up a little bit as the race progresses.
I saw Cole Brown have a big pack about 10th place.
Yeah, a lot of these schools have a great tradition and great depth. We can usually find them at the top of these team events.
Look up. Guys, you know, look up. Girl.
Again, this is a 5K, 3.1 miles these ladies are running. This is a hilly course, pretty similar to Derryfield actually, especially when you start comparing times. So this kind of is something similar to what they would be running if they were running in the state meet at divisions.
It's a bit hot out today, and at least in the fields, but in the woods it's pretty nice. So
yes,
should be some good times today.
Definitely warmed up a little bit today compared to the last few days. Last few days have really felt like fall. Today's probably mid-60s or so, so not too crazy for these ladies, but a little bit more of a shock than what they might be used to.
Good job, Ava. Good job, Ava. Use those arms, pull up the hill.
And we can see our leader just a little ways past the 1 mile mark. They came through about 6:40, 6:43.
And that should be Elizabeth Korbatsky from Lebanon. So that's a good pace to start off.
Same top 3 as what we saw before. A little bit more separation from the group and a little bit more separation amongst themselves.
Right now they're on a pretty big hill after the mile mark. Downhill the entire way to the mile, and then they get to the hill.
Yeah, this is a tougher uphill at this point in the race. It is their first real uphill challenge that they have.
Now we see Souhegan's depth coming in.
So that is 2, 3, and 4 with number 1 already passed. I see 2 Hopkinton as well.
And Lebanon second, they have the leader, and also, I believe, 5th.
And then we can also see those blue jerseys of Oyster River. Looks like they've spread out a little bit since last we saw.
Good job, Oyster River.
Cole Brown's big pack coming through with Oyster River.
Hey, top 12.
Yeah, Cole Brown has this top of 4 right here.
And I think that's OR's 5, maybe?
Yeah, and they've got 4 right there, number 5 passed there, and they've already had 2 or 3. So they've got a good solid team up there as well. Souhegan we see with a couple more.
I think this would be their 5th for Souhegan. So if she can move up a little bit, they could be in the team mix.
Yeah, right now I feel like it's looking pretty good for Oyster River. But again, few teams still in the mix. Still only a third of the way through the race. Plenty of space, especially because this is the first hill where we can see girls kind of shifting positions as they go through it. We're about halfway up this hill to 2/3 up this hill. Really, it's an uphill to that far turn you can see, but that part doesn't feel too bad. It's very gradual to that point, and then this is where it really starts to hurt.
And this could be a bit of a preview for D2 states, where we have teams like Souhegan and Oyster River doing well, and Hopkinton as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If one team's having a good season on the JV side, there's a good chance varsity is as well.
And if you see your JV team doing well, it could be a bit of momentum for your team going forward into that state championship.
Absolutely. We've seen a number of the varsity girls out here today cheering on their squad. So it's pretty obvious that these girls can kind of feed off of each other to get this work done. Now we're going to go ahead and check in with the leaders right before 2 mile. Coming around the corner now is our leader. Still
Slobotsky is in front.
Yeah, she's still maintaining right there. Again, bigger gap than last time. Second place not in sight yet. Hear that noise? We know they're coming around the corner. Here comes Emma from Souhegan.
Good job, Emma. Good job, Emma.
Looking a little bit tired, but still pretty smooth.
Really stretched out at this point.
Yeah, 1 and 2 got some space. 2 to 3 definitely got some space. See if that pack came back on number 3 once they get up here. Again, since we've seen them, it's been a lot of up.
Souhegan's moved up.
Yeah, that's our lead change. This is number 2 for Souhegan.
That's Erin Taylor from Souhegan.
Oyster River's first. Lebanon second. Souhegan. That's 3. Hopkinton, another team to watch. They got 1, 2 right there. Not sure where their rest are. Kennett with the first. Souhegan for 4.
Kennett 2.
2 for Kennett. So right now, Souhegan with 4. All they need is 1 girl to be in this mix coming up as we see Cole Brown battling Oyster River.
Oyster River second, I believe. They had a big pack a little bit further back, so we'll see if they come through soon.
Should be Cole Brown's 1 and 2. Along with 3 and 4 here. So they've got a great looking pack time. Well, I see Souhegan's number 5 right now. So at this point, a little bit before 2 mile, looks like Souhegan as we see Bo, Oyster River, Kennett, and another Oyster River.
And here's a 5th Oyster River, I believe.
So Souhegan's looking as top team. Oyster River, Cole Brown look to be battling for that second place spot right now. Again, a little bit in front of the 2 mile from here. Got some of the varsity Cole Brown boys with us. About how far to the 2 mile from here?
It's just under 400 meters.
Mostly downhill too.
Yeah, so from this point we go down. Once they get back to that kind of same area, they got that uphill. A little bit of single track action.
It's about an 800 meter downhill, and then they have the biggest climb of the race, and then they're about a K to go.
This is the hardest one.
So here we are, we're in the middle of the single track, about 600 meters left in the race.
800.
800 meters left in the race. We got Lebanon still leading.
Looks to have a very strong lead.
Got Lars
There's
Hogney.
Lars Hogney right there.
Scouting.
Here we got second place, Souhegan.
Looks like she closed the gap a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the leader's only got about 10-15 seconds now on number 2. One and 2 have definitely opened up a really big gap on the rest of the field.
Here comes our third place runner, also from Souhegan. It
Souhegan's got 2.
Seems like they're having a pretty good team day here.
Yeah, she definitely has.
Looks like we got another Souhegan too.
Oh,
Well, nice pack.
They got 3 in already.
Yeah, so we got 3 Souhegan right now, followed by a Hopkinton.
seems like we got a Kennett.
And another Hopkinton, so that's 3
2 for
Souhegan so
Hopkinton.
far and 2 Hopkinton.
First, Oyster River's first.
And a Coach Cox.
We got Coach Cox.
Coach Cox of Co Brown right now.
2-3.
Lebanon's second.
Sauhegan's got 4 now coming through. Kennett, I think that's Kennett's second.
Sauhegan's got 4 now.
Yep. Just need one more here. Looks
He's
like we got a
Co-Brown's
pair of
one.
Co-Brown. Yep.
We're now
2
probably going to
Co-Brown.
see a Co-Brown pack. They're going to have to move up if they want to catch up to the Sauhegan team.
I think that's Sauhegan's 5
Yep.
right there.
That's 5 Sauhegan in right now.
There's the scoring's rounded out right there. Looks like they're going to take
Another
this
Oyster
one.
River.
Yeah, if Sauhegan can just maintain, they'll take this one.
Never know. Yeah, if Sauhegan can.
2 more Co-Brown coming through. That's their third and
4.
fourth.
It's 3 and 4.
We have a bow. I believe that's their first. I may have missed one.
Could be second.
Kennett's third.
Kennett's third.
Here comes
Oyster River.
I think Oyster River has 4 now.
Oyster
Right
River
now it's a
has
battle
4.
for second place between Oyster River and Co-Brown.
Here's Oyster River's 5th, I think.
And
Followed
6th.
closely by their 6.
Another Sauhegan.
So Sauhegan now has 6, so they'll be displacing.
Sauhegan's 7 already. Wow.
Hopkinton.
Hopkinton and Kennett look like they're doing pretty well as well. There's another Kennett.
Very
Stumble
technical
there.
trail. Gotta be careful.
That's a 6th for Oyster River as well. We got 5
Another
Co-Brown
Co-Brown.
right here.
Time to stretch out, Nora. Mental toughness, time to rip. Hang in there, lower those arms a little bit.
Another Oyster
Time to
River
rip.
coming
You're doing
behind.
great.
Job, Nora. All done. Water under the bridge. Yeah.
No way to handle it. That's exactly right.
It's great conditions out here today. Not too hot. Perfect racing conditions for the weather.
Yeah.
There's Captain
It's a great day
America
for
right
the
there.
JV state meets on a great course.
Well maintained.
For a lot of these people, this will be their last race of the year for cross season. So they're all giving it all they have.
Big pack of bow right here.
Yeah, we're seeing
4 of them all together.
4 bow. That's some.
And another Sauhegan. Very strong.
Sauhegan's definitely a very strong team this year.
Another Sauhegan.
Sauhegan.
Yeah, it's Sauhegan.
My apologies.
Good pack right here. Another Kennett, Oyster River, bow.
All right, now we're gonna put it on to the finish, and we'll see you guys there.
Track now from Lebanon. Elizabeth Korbatsky had to lead the entire way, wire to wire.
Yeah, she's looked pretty impressive up to this point.
Should be about 22-20. And then here comes Sauhegan's first. I know it was Emma Herrera who was in second place at Grand Junction, but could have changed.
Congratulations to Lebanon.
22-24.
So congratulations to her. Like you said, Sauhegan next on the track coming down.
And they had 2-3 at Grand Junction, so we'll see if they still have that.
And again, Sauhegan is one of those teams to watch.
Finishing second. Good job.
So that is Herrero.
Sauhegan.
And here we go, a little bit of a battle for third.
Oh, here's a close
Looks like, is
finish.
that Oyster River or?
Looks like a Hopkinton, followed by 2 more Sauhegan, so
Wow.
that's 3 for Sauhegan. And some low numbers with
Good
that.
job, Hopkinton. Congratulations. Good job, Sanborn.
So our third place finisher is Audrey Davies.
Congratulations to her. Pretty good kick to get to this point. Again, this is Souhegan's number 2 and 3.
Going 4-5. That's Aaron Taylor and Riley Devine. That's our top 5.
Another good battle on the other side of the straightaway. A lot of these girls kicking it in, trying to get that extra point for their team. We've got Kennett, Oyster River, Hopkinton all on the track now.
Looks like we got a close finish.
Kennett's pulling away for 6th.
Come on, you guys got this. Good job, good job.
So Oyster River's
Good
first.
job, Oyster River.
Then Hopkinton.
Oh, looks like Kennett.
Looks like Kennett going with her second now.
Hopkinton with another, Kennett with another, Lebanon with another. Souhegan's number 4. All they need is that number 5 to get in.
But here comes Co Brown now. And there's Souhegan's 5th.
I see Souhegan's 5th. They have this locked up. Really, it's like what you saw before the 2 mile, a battle for that second place. Cole Brown with a pair right here.
And they weren't up there the entire time. They moved up throughout the entire race. But they're going to win this easily.
Good job, Co Brown. Good job, Souhegan.
So Co Brown's their first and second.
Yeah, and like we said, Souhegan really did look good today as a team, continuing to improve their place from each spot we saw.
And then here's Bo coming up, their first runner. And it looks like Oyster River's second, I believe, or maybe third. And then Co Brown's third. And Co Brown's 4th. So as we saw, they had good pack running today.
Oyster River finishing now. Just getting to that 25-minute mark.
15 minutes.
And then more Souhegan showing their team depth.
Yeah, so like we said, 2 more for Co Brown, then a Kennett, Souhegan, Oyster River. Still a little bit of separation here. At this point, I was starting to think we might see a little bit more of a cluster. I imagine that group is just around the corner any second now, especially as we hit this 25-30 mark. And Souhegan again with another one.
Yeah,
They've got a very strong team, which you alluded to earlier, bodes well for divisions.
I believe
Oyster River
that's
finishing.
OR's 5. Order 5's coming up right now. Bo's second. Oyster River also showing some depth today.
Absolutely.
They're one of the teams that's going to be in it. They just won the Black Bear invite. So those are teams to look for. Souhegan, is this their 8th maybe? Either 7th or 8th.
Yeah, they've had, that's at least 7.
That was a good battle to finish.
Kennett with a couple more too. I tell you, they're kind of surprising me
They look
today.
good, yeah.
Usually pretty well coached, but up there you don't always have the most depth at D3, so they're looking pretty strong and again, looking pretty good for the division races. You know, I mean, there's only so much comparison you can make between divisions and the JV state championship, but still there is some correlation that has shown through every single year as we get more of these girls coming onto the track.
And like I said earlier, you know, you could have a team like Kennett that doesn't really have a name for themselves, at least right now, and see their JV team do very well and think maybe, you know, our varsity team can come up and show these guys at the state championship. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a testament to the training that they've been doing, that if they are starting to break through a little bit, that's their training. That's paying off. They're peaking at the right time.
Exactly.
A lot of these girls, again, it's that indicator. Not to take anything away from these girls who are racing today because they're doing a great job.
You know what's great is that these are the girls who are going to be racing next year who are going to be coming up in the varsity teams, and we'll see them, at least like, you know, anybody who's not a senior, we'll see them racing next year, and these are going to be the ones that are going to be contending for the titles.
Oh, absolutely. This is great experience for them. Again, this course pretty similar to Dairy Field, just in the level of difficulty. Bo, look at this group.
Wow.
Again,
Good pass
Bo,
running.
I know we were talking about earlier today before we were on camera how Bo has come along as a team this year. We've really started to notice it on both sides now as these 3 cross. And it looks to me like they're running together. They're working on that pack mentality, which a lot of people, until they're on that team that does that, underestimate how important that can be as we get some great looking finishes here.
Another Kennett, another Bo.
And we talk about race conditions today. A little bit warmer than the last week or so.
There's a cool breeze though right now coming through it. It should be favorable for the runners though.
Oh yeah, especially for the boys race, which will be taking off pretty soon.
And also the woods are a lot cooler than the fields are. So.
Yeah, woods didn't have any of that sun beating down on it. Not a whole lot of breeze in there, but was a little bit cooler just from the shade.
One thing I will note is that I was out on the course for a little bit of a run before this, and it was a tiny bit wet, not too much, but like a tad, so.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, I mean, for the most part, this point in the season, this course is going to be okay. It might be a little bit wet here and there, but it's not getting incredibly beat up. I say
exactly,
that.
Yeah.
Saturday, we've got a bunch of middle school state championship meets going on here. We've got Division 3, Division 4 for middle school on Saturday, so that'll be pretty fun as well.
Exactly.
Again, these girls right now racing to get under that 30-minute mark at this 5K today.
Good job, girls.
Conval under that 30-minute mark.
Here in the crowd a little bit more right now too, so that's always a fun factor for these athletes when they get run by. Now tell me, because you as a current high school runner, what's it like when you're out in the woods by yourself and then all of a sudden you get to this roaring crowd? Does that do anything for you?
Gosh, well, the crowd definitely helps once you get out there. Although, to be honest, at the very end, it's kind of tough because you're basically just tired from the entire race.
Oh, sure.
But it definitely helps you finish the race with the crowd around you. And I know, especially for JV runners, having their parents out here and like everyone who's cheering them on, like their varsity teams out here to cheer them on, it's definitely going to be helpful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the spectators. We're talking about parents being out here. Last year, this event wasn't able to happen.
Exactly.
So this year, we're so grateful that we can get all these JV athletes who competed last year, but they didn't get that state championship opportunity. They have the opportunity this year for themselves, for their parents, their teammates. You know, it's just, there's so many benefits for this specific meet.
And the thing I love to see is that how excited the varsity runners are to see their JV team runners do well.
Oh, absolutely. And you think about some of the other sports that are going around the state of New Hampshire. JV, there's not always a tournament or
a championship.
An end to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's great to see this opportunity in cross country for them.
And I find that the JV runners always surprise themselves at this championship. At least for our team, they have in the past, where you train the entire season and then the very last race, you go all out and you just see all the benefits coming through. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's always good to have that kind of final point in your season where you can go out on a big bang. And taking a look around, looks like our boys race is going to be starting relatively soon. So once again, this is NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runners Alley. Our meet hub today brought to you by Bees Tees over in Keene and their newer store in Manchester. They got some screen printing, embroidery, and a whole lot more. This has been your 2021 JV Girls State Championship for D2 and D3.